And we are going live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, South Florida, and hello, world. Yes, I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. I'm the president and founder and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. And joining me live, my one and only brother from another mother, James T. from Hot 105. How you doing, my brother from another mother?
Brother, it is truly a pleasure, Rob. I want to say, man, so that the world will know, and all those who would hear this, whether it's today, tomorrow, or any day thereafter, brother, it has been such a great journey with you and your staff and your company, and brother, hey, I'm so proud of your entire company and all that you're doing in the community. I was just watching um, a documentary. I think that starts on OWN or it started on OWN, and I try to record these things so I can watch them in my own free time. But it was talking about rebuilding Wall Street, and
Wow.
it featured it's going to be featuring people who are doing things going back to the days of Tulsa when Wall Street was Black Wall Street. It was
Yeah, rebuilding Black Wall Street,
Black
you mean?
Wall Street. Yeah,
Right.
rebuilding Black Wall Street. I probably didn't say that at first, but and what I'm seeing, Rob, is that as much as we want to think that there are very few people out there asking, seeking, and knocking, and growing and studying. Hey, as Jesus told, I think it was Elijah, when he was saying, "Hey, I'm the only one left." And so it said that God sort of laughed at him and said, "Wait a minute, I got 5,000 others that have never knelt or bowed to Baal. Don't
Hmm.
think that you're the only one." So, Rob, we're not the only one, but brother, hey, to you and your staff, man, you're the only ones I know that have a close relationship. Uh, alone, I shouldn't say the only, but you're one of those that I know that have a close relationship, man, that are really, really, really doing things in our community and helping people to become what they were created to be. So, hey, we salute you.
Well, hey, I salute you too, because everybody know, especially here in South Florida and all over the country, know that James T is true to his word and your beliefs. We know you're not just a figurehead. We know when you speak it, you believe it, and when you say it, you believe it. And we
Oh,
know, and we know that. I mean, we can turn our backs and we know that you're gonna tell us the truth. You're gonna tell us really. You're gonna take us behind the curtains and tell us this really what's going on. It looks like this, looks like that. You say, man, all it is this.
well, hey, so what are we going to talk about today,
Well,
brother Rob? What we
interesting.
going to share?
Well, interesting. You would talk about you've been watching a documentary on building Black Wall Street,
Right,
and I've
rebuilding.
been asked. Matter of fact, the day after the show,
Hmm.
this show's over at 10 o'clock on Eastern time, and then at 11 o'clock I have to go down to the jail. I've been asked to come speak on a panel discussion um, about building generational wealth.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm gonna. I said, yeah, I'll come anytime anyone wants to, hear what I have to say, and we're gonna talk about it, James. And matter of fact, I want to just discuss some of it here today. What I'm gonna talk, because I talk from the heart, because I live this stuff. This is no, this is not scripted for me. It's in my heart. I live it.
It's who you are.
It's who I am. To build generational wealth, and that's a buzzword that's going around the country a lot. How to build generational wealth, and that's easy said than done. Because for the average person, James, most people just trying to get by. They're just trying to, have enough for themselves so they can, retire and come home and have a life of leisure and do what they want to do. They're not. Most people are not really thinking about the generations behind them.
Mm,
The
that's something.
average person is not. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you
Mhm.
agree?
I agree. And Rob, the thing that in my study, I'm back on Dr. Miles Monroe right now. That's a part of my daily study. But one of the things that we have not recognized yet is the power that we have been given. You know, I mean, that is ours. often we seek, the power in others. And so we seek to say that they've got it, and I don't have it. But it's not true. They really haven't looked at what they have and what they've been given. So he talks about how we go through life searching, and he said, now wait a minute, when you search for something, he said that should stipulate to you that it's something that you have lost, but it's also something that you have had, whether you knew you had it or not. If you have, they say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find this. Well, wait a minute. First of all, you know that you're trying to find does exist. You know that you had it, and you know what Mama used to say. I know I put that right there. Now who moved it? So who moved? So when we talk about our personal growth, we really must realize that we have the power to do these things that you and others are teaching us. You're just making us aware of it. So if we would get that information, that comprehension, and then have that wisdom for application, we would really see our lives change. And we could see how we could change others' lives. Because when I saw this documentary, the first thought came in my mind, Rob. I said, you know something? If this sister who was building a birth clinic, she said in Oklahoma, I don't think there was a birth clinic. Now, I know not in her area. And she found this beautiful, we love property. She found this beautiful hill with trees and greenery and everything. And it was clay. And she built this birth clinic where people who didn't want to go to the hospital or wouldn't want to go to the hospital, that would love to have that natural birth. And that was operating in her giftedness. And she, of course, going to always meet obstacles, everything from construction, which we talk about often, and also, hey, needing money for an elevator or needing money for this. And what happened was there were other people who came to assist her, who heard about her project, and a husband and wife team, and they came to assist her. And I said to myself, now, hey, I'm going to find out who that person is, because I wasn't a part of the construction or whatever, but I'm going to do what Robert Henderson would do. I'm going to write a check. I'm going to do what Robert Henderson would do. Because, hey, this sister, man, just to say that, because Rob, come on, man, don't you feel good when you can see someone doing good?
Oh man,
or someone that did good, and you just say, "Hey, hey, sister, I'm sending this to you."
Oh yeah, man, because we really all are one. And anytime you see somebody doing good, it should it just brings chills down your spine.
Man.
Like, oh my God, because we really, that's what they mean by all of us are one. We really are. We connected. And James,
Mhm.
when you see someone, I tell you, when you got it. You got it when you can be happy for other people who are doing something constructive
Ooh.
and building, and it's having an effect on you and the community and people around them. Because anytime you are doing something that's truly good, you recognize, that it's truly good, because it's not just for you.
Mm.
It's for others. As a matter of fact, you who building and doing it, the other people get more out of it even than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because the greater you are, the more you serve. But then you look at that, your glory, your satisfaction go into seeing how you have enlightened and enhanced someone else's life. It's like when we create a plan and it comes together real good, man. I'm doing backflips. I'm more happier for the people, because I'm like, oh my God, look. So anytime you see someone who is really good at their craft, and they in it, man, and they working it, man, it should be a feeling of pure admiration. That's why when you see someone who has won an award, who has really done something hard, and who really has accomplished a goal, let me tell you something. We all should be clapping for that person, because anything that is good, each and every one of us had to go through some obstacles, because there are forces out there that unknown, that you can't even see with the naked eye, and sometimes you can, that is there to hold you back and stop you. So anyone who has achieved any type of a zenith goal, we all should be applied. It shouldn't be none. It shouldn't. Jealousy shouldn't even be in our vocabulary. It shouldn't. You be like, oh my God. It's almost like when Coco won, that tennis. You just feel like, all right,
Championship. Mhm.
championship. It just makes us all feel like, oh my God, yes, because you won. You're part of it. So so this segues right into just the whole generational wealth. Just we hear that word coming around and bouncing around a lot more and more. Good morning, Brittany Brown. Good morning, Parnell and Miss Thomas. Yes, I'm looking forward to being there. You looking forward to hearing me? I'm looking forward to being there, Miss Thomas, and have Denise Ward and other people who haven't signed in but are listening. So let's talk more about what truly is generational wealth, because the average person, James, like I said, they want to go 9 to 5. They can't wait till they retire so they can live a life of leisurely, and then they just want to just ride out, have a good time. Most people are not thinking about the next generation. Now, I do know that there's a lot of people that don't have kids. They're not thinking about the next generation. Like, hey, me, myself, and I. So let's really talk about what really is generational wealth. It's easier said than done. When you talk about generational wealth, we're talking about money not just for you, or cash flow or wealth not just for you. You have created some sort of machine that you're going to be able to eat off that, but then long after you're gone, it's still going to be producing cash flow. It's still going to be making other generations of yours wealthy. They're still going to have enough. Now, there's only a few ways to do that, because for the most part, most people are struggling to make ends meet. I mean, half of America, and it's only like 340 million people in America, like 41 are people of color, black people. The other, 300 million, those are white people. They're so when you're talking about half, more than half, I mean, you're talking 170 million people, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people who just trying to make ends meet. And most of those people, households, don't make $57,000 a year. Just think about that. They don't make 50 in the household, on the roof. 2 people. There's a lot of poor people in, Kentucky and Mississippi, and a lot of those places that you don't hear about. The news don't feature them. And there's a whole group of people, but it's a lot of people, man. Not just the homeless people who are working but just barely can make it.
As a matter of
So
fact,
when
they call them the working poor, right?
yeah, they call them working poor. So when you say generational wealth, like I said, it's easier said than done. But let me tell you some factors, things that you can do if you want to create that and still have your cake and eat it too, and not take anything away from you while you're alive. You still can have your retirement. You still can have your life of leisure. You still can shop and do whatever you want. But the things that you can do, steps that you can do in order to ensure generational wealth. One is a life insurance policy. Now, I'm not just trying to sell you life insurance. Let's look at the math. Let's look at the math. So let's say you're a janitor, and you're making, $30,000-$40,000 a year. But if you living off that $30,000 or $40,000 a year, first of all, in terms of math, how you build wealth is not spending all of your money. If you make $40,000 a year, you can't spend $40,000 a year, because now you work, but you have not advanced. If you make $40,000 a year, damn it, you're supposed to live off at least 30. 10, you're supposed to keep 10,000. I'm simple numbers, all right? So it doesn't matter, this person make a lot of money, because the person that's making $400,000 a year, they spending $400,000 a year, okay? So you can't just say this person is wealthier. It has something to do with the mindset, because there's a lot of people who were janitors and they left here. They left with millions of dollars, and they left as their beneficiaries. And they're like, how did she amass that? And that's because understanding the process, understanding the math. When you build generational wealth, one of the components you can build it through is life insurance. The other one, you could build it through real estate holdings. And the other one you can build it through is having a business that has continuity of life, meaning that even after you have passed, the good keep on giving. it still has products and services that's going to still be needed by the masses even after you're gone. Case in point, Coca-Cola. Someone started Coca-Cola. The man long dead, but Coca-Cola still selling Coca-Cola. Conrad Hilton, he started Hilton Hotels. But hey, he been gone. But his family is still prospering off of that. So if it has to be a business, and if you say, man, I ain't building no business. Okay. So now it could be in real estate. Now, most people just, trying to get a big house. And I'm telling you something, no, don't be fooled by that big house. Don't be fooled. That's a myth. You can have a big house. That's for your ego. But I'm gonna tell you something. If you have a big house, you better have some big money. Because you have air conditions, dust is everywhere, and the cost of keeping it up is tremendous. You can't have a 9-to-5 job and have a big house, because matter of fact, a report came out and said right now in America, for people paying rent, people are paying 50% of their income in housing, whether it's rent or mortgages. You can never build generational wealth that way, taking half of your money and spending it on things and stuff. The simple math says if you make $100,000, if you're gonna spend 80, you're supposed to be saving 20. So now this year you up 20. Next year you make 100,000, you spend 80, you got another 20. Now you're starting to get the math. 5 years of making $100,000, it meant you done made over 500,000. You should have $100,000 saved. It's simple as that. The numbers are right here. Is no mystery. You can, whatever you want, there's a financial GPS to tell you exactly how to get it. There's a financial GPS. Most people use GPS just to get to some destination, how to get downtown, or how to get over here, how to get over there. No, you can do your own. At the Henderson Financial Group, we have a strategy called Financial GPS. You give us your information, you give us your numbers, you tell us your goals, we'll tell you how to get there and what you should be doing and when you should be doing, how much you should be doing. And if you don't want to do that.
Rob, but don't run past that speed bump of having that goal. See, that I think that may be where most people, quote unquote, don't get that jump start, is because they don't have a goal. They don't have the goal of saying, I want to create generational wealth. Because the first thing that most people would say, why? I'm just, like you said, I'm just taking care of me, myself, and I, or me, my wife, and I, or me, but the greater part is that if you will check in with the Henderson Financial Group, you can find out how to do both with the GPS system. Am I correct?
Yes, with the financial GPS system that we're going to plug in your numbers, you can find out how to do both, how much you should be putting away, the time frame that you do want to say, okay, I'm no more money for me. I'm retired. I'm not working anymore. We can set all that up. It's a computer. It's numbers now. You can do that now. You can't say you don't know how to do it. All you got to do is ask, seek, and knock. But you got to not just think about it. You got to be about it. You got to take the action and call us 305-825-1444, and we'll give you the real numbers. But I like in building financial wealth, it has a close relationship with people like health. Most people don't even want to know their health. Most people want to go to the doctor. Most people just want to get up and go. They don't even want to have an annual checkup. They don't, and you hear about people all of a sudden getting cancer, getting this and getting that, is at the late stage, they'd have caught it. And you hear about that. That's clues. Anytime you hear about something, that is a hint for you to do something. That's what it is. You can hear about somebody else doing this and doing that. You're supposed to say, well, let me think about me. Hey, this guy died of prostate cancer. Let me think about last time I had my prostate cancer, breast cancer. Well, last time I had my breast checked out. When you hear about people and when you hear or see stuff, it's for you. You're good. It's a hint for you. It's the universe telling you, hey, I remember when I let me see, 2019, I was telling this girl that I was going to get my colonoscopy checked. But I get it every 2-3 years because they found a polyp. I'm okay, but I have to get it. I have to monitor it now. And I remember telling this girl in 2019 that I said, hey, man, I'm getting ready to drink this stuff for this colonoscopy. And we were talking about it. And she was like, oh, yeah. I said, you have it? Yes. She says, no. And come this year, 2023. So 2019, I told her about it. 2022, 2020, 21, 2020, 23. And she just told me right now she has colorectal cancer, stage 4. And she said, when I told her about it, that I was getting that, she said the thought came to her, maybe she should go get one also. But she didn't do it. She did not do it. And I'm going to tell you something, you guys, how the universe works, how the spirit works. We get little hints. People say things. You're always supposed to look at yourself and say, what am I doing? You know, you're supposed to, because these are little hints, subtle hints, little messages that you have to pick up for and don't ignore. And now she has stage 4 cancer. And she said, Robert, man, I wish when you told me you was getting it, I wished I would have taken action. You know, and she didn't. And I'm saying that because I want it to I want this information to resonate to you, your family members. When you hear things and you see stuff, you're supposed to be able to look and see how does that relate to you, or it's a clue, it's a little message, an invisible message that you have to be able to pick up on and discern and say, hey, let me just make sure that I'm okay, you know? Mm-hmm. Now, how you doing, Miss Redhead? How you doing? Good morning, DeLawrence, Brenda Brown. Hey, listen, so let me tell you one of the strategies of building generational wealth. You do it with life insurance. Here's a janitor who makes $40,000 a year. He spends $30,000. He saves $10,000. He takes $5,000 a year and he put it into a fat cash value life insurance policy that we set up for him. Now, we didn't just set the life insurance policy up for him mainly for when he die, his loved ones will be able to have some money. I think the policy is worth $500,000 and it's tax-free. We all know that we're going to leave here. Each and every one of us can't get off this planet alive. We know that, okay? Other than Elon Musk and all, I'm trying to do something, but it might not be in our lifetime, okay? We'll deal with that later. But the reason why this guy is doing that, because he has family and he's making a little bit of money, $40,000 a year. So if he's making that, it's going to take him a long time to get $500,000 with his own money. So instead of self-insuring, what he's doing is he puts $5,000 away. He gets like a $600,000 life insurance policy. Life insurance policy is guaranteed to do what you want it to do. That's the only product on the world, on the planet, that guaranteed to do what it says it's going to do. There's no stocks market if it's up or down. No. And why he's putting that $5,000 away? Yeah, he could have went and bought a car like most people did, $400 and some a month. But no, he said no. He wants to put this money away. He wants to save it. Now, he put the $5,000 away. It's not like, and he put into the $600,000 policy. It's not like the $5,000 is gone forever. I mean, you think in 10 years, he would have himself put in $50,000. If he wouldn't have put it in there and directed it there, he found a way to spend the $5,000 a year. He would find a way to spend it. But since we directed it here, he was so happy after 10 years. Not only he's had 50,000, but it has grown. So it has like $70,000 in there. So he got 10,000 free, but all of it's tax-free money. Even though he have a $600,000 policy that one day he's going to have to give up the ghost and go to heaven, hopefully, that $600,000, he already know is coming to his loved ones. Okay. That's going to help the next generation. But here's the key is that now it's $70,000 in there. It's all tax-free. If he ever need money, emergency or whatever, he can take the money out with no penalty and still have the $600,000 in death benefit. And on top of that, that $600,000 doubles as a long-term care policy, just in case he get Alzheimer's or dementia, or have a stroke or a heart attack or get cancer. The death benefit, the $600,000, you can use that. They give you part of that money while you're alive. So it fits really good. So that's generational wealth right there. He knows that he's going to leave. He can spend all the rest of his money, but as long as he take and feed that and put his $5,000 in there, and then we set it up. He don't have to put $5,000 in there forever. He says he wants to do it for 15 years and stop. So we did this financial GPS. If you do it for 15 years, you to put your money in there, you can stop. It's going to go easy selling, and it's going to keep on accumulating wealth, and it's going to grow tax-free. Okay, that's one way. And a lot of wealthy people that don't look like me or you, James, they do a lot of this, especially the wealthy people. They have more life insurance than you can even think of. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you who does more than anybody. The banks. Banks put more life insurance investments than anybody. You say, why would a bank do that? Because a bank put it because they want to put their cash there because it grows tax free and they have access to it if they needed to go and build stadiums and all that. Okay. Okay. So that's one thing, life insurance. The other one is, let's talk about this real estate, especially in our communities, the Black communities. A lot of us are giving up this real estate. You know, we want to leave it to our kids, and the kids don't want to pay the property taxes or pay the homeowners insurance. Generational wealth is not so much, okay, you can do it with a residence, but what I'm talking about building generational wealth is when you have income producing property. When you're gone, that duplex or that triplex or that building over there is still going to have tenants. They're still going to produce income for you. Our goal, while we have time, is supposed to be spending our money on investments that are going to produce regardless. That's the trick. That's how you build generational wealth. Having real estate, cash flow. Some people say, man, I don't want to deal with tenants. They got something for that. They got property managers. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. But you need to have cash flow coming in. Stop buying all these stupid cars. Okay? I can't say it enough.
Rob, how do you motivate a person to, like you said, they can hear our conversation, your conversation, they can hear the different methods that they can use, but how do you motivate them to take that step to say, you know, wait a minute, this is something that I ought do, and here's how I can do it, and still, if I want to, hey, spend or whatever, but it does take some sacrifice, and more than that, it takes effort on the part of the individual or the husband and wife, you know, spouse and whatever, partner, however it's set up, you know, to make that step, to do that, to call the Henderson Financial Group and say, hey, here's what we have. Here's what we're doing. Why would I do this? Because again, if you are blessed with something and you're not using it, you know, to benefit others, I really think that what happens is all of a sudden, what you thought you had in your hand, now I no longer have anything because taxes are going to continue to go up. Okay. Cost of living is going to continue to go up. And if you think that that retirement that you're going to get is going to take you, quote unquote, another 20 or 30 years, I don't think so, Rob, because you'll be looking for that second job, another job or
Right.
Another way of generating earnings.
Right. Well, you know, you asked me, how do you motivate a
Yes.
person to take action? Well, you know, James, as we was talking earlier, in life, as you and I grow in consciousness, the more wisdom and understanding that you get, you begin to really zero in that serenity prayer that we were talking about. There's nothing and nobody to change but yourself. For me, there's nothing and nobody. You cannot change another person from the outside. Change has got to come from the inside, and it has got to come from the individual. Now, the individual, there's help for each and every one of us. There are signs, there are clues. We all by now should have heard the story of this guy named Jesus. Now, when you look at a guy like that said that he was here to save the world and save the people and that sort of, they put him on the cross. The majority of the people put him on the cross and they killed him. Only to find years later, 2,000 years later, they're saying, what would Jesus do? And a lot of people, billions of people around the world worshiping this guy named Jesus. But if you know the story and what happened to him, the people were wrong. They crucified him. And then they said, oh my God, we want to be like him. When you understand the story, that means that most of us are seeing with our eyes, but we've been fooled. And so when you start saying, hey man, that ain't it, they fooling us, then you have to go, it's a trick, you have to go another way. A lot of us have seen people who have hit the lotto. We've seen athletes who have been was rich and now they're PE teachers or at the park showing out, poor, don't have nothing. We've seen people who were up and now we've seen them down. We've seen the Buddy Loves. I'm thinking about Eddie Murphy, they're showing out thinking they all that and braggadocious. We've seen them come from up here to down there. All of those are clues on how to act and what not to do, and to act like you've been here. Don't show out. Don't get overzealous just because all of a sudden you got some money. We all know somebody or heard of somebody who had it all and fell out of grace and don't have it. That right there should be a clue to each and every one of us dealing with the law of demonstration. The law of demonstration says, prove it. See, back when I heard the story, whether you're atheist or not, you don't have to believe it, but just the story. When you hear the story, this guy named Jesus, for me, they said a guy named Jesus walked on water. James, that was me and you. We seen anybody walking on water, we'd have been like, that's it. Some people still said no. If I'd have heard somebody, this guy woke up the dead. Oh, that's the law of demonstration. That's it. All right. That's it. If you see this guy, you see Robert Henderson says that his father was a drunk, his mother was a janitor. He didn't have 2 nickels to call it a dime. But he started understanding and figuring out that if you make $40,000, you cannot get sucked in with the masses and spend all $40,000 every year. Simple math says if you make $40,000, try to spend only 30 and take the other 10, barring taxes, take the other 10 and then save it and invest it and put it somewhere where it's going to grow.
But Rob, the trick on that is that if I got 40,000, it qualifies me to get a credit card. So now I can have my 40,000 and I can borrow. Yeah, and all of a sudden now I'm on that wheel, and if I look at that card, they're telling me all I got to do is pay $27 a month, the minimum.
Right.
And I find out that, wow, hey, of the $27 a month, only $1 is going toward principal. The rest of it is interest. And so, but I look good, I smell good. Everybody talks about, my new car. Everybody, hey, I'm going on this with my friends to the destination party out of the country. And hey, I'm just putting it on the card.
Well, that's a certain mindset.
That's what I'm talking about, Rob.
That's a certain mindset, James. Those people are here for you and I as proof what not to do. Like my father was a drunk. Since my father was a drunk, and my mother left him when I was 6 years old in Chicago in the middle of the night before he got home drunk again, she left. That was proof for me that anytime you get in the jam, you can leave. My father being a drunk was a way shore for me. He was like a Jesus to me. He showed me what not to do. I've never been drunk in my life simply because my father. Because I saw him. My cousin was a junkie. Do you think I'm gonna go ahead and I seen how he was scratching and moving and looking like a crackhead? Do you think I'm gonna follow him? No. I'm not. He helped me not to go that way. I had another a cousin who that's all he did was smoke cigarettes. He dead. You think that wasn't a hint for me? Don't do that. So we get these hints. So when you hear people that actually go get the credit card and the interest rate is 29% and they tell you all you got to do is just pay the minimum, they have to get you. That's the wolf.
And so transform it. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that's what and you're saying it, but that's where we've got to reach out to ourselves, because as you and I talked prior to going on, the only person you can really change is you.
Right.
But if you're not seeking change, if you're not seeking to grow, if you don't believe that it's better, hey, Rob would tell you, no matter where we are, what we are doing, hey, I tell people every day, I'm trying to be better. I want to be better. Now I do things to help me be better. I'm not just gonna be better because I do push-ups or because I do this or do that or fast or whatever. No, I want to be better. I want to know something I didn't know, or I want to be reminded of something that I was told, that maybe, hey, it applies to something I'm trying to do today. And when we talked about the serenity prayer before we went on, all of a sudden, hey, a piece is that we can't change other people, but we can also not allow them to change us or to
Yes.
upset us or to
No,
stress us out.
no, you can't, because when you allow somebody or something on the outside to stress you out, it's a sin. It's missing the mark. That's why you get sick, not them. When you worrying about somebody else and you the law says you can't change or do it, but you get sick and your blood pressure go on, it affects you because you're sinning. You're missing the mark. You don't understand. And when you don't understand something, and when you're ignorant to anything, you suffer for it. You got to get help. If you're ignorant to anything, you got to pay up or you got to seek some help. Listen, I have 3 air conditioners in my house. One for the main house, one for the guest house, and one for the back in my bedroom. 3. The main house was, well, it was going out. So this guy Melvin, he comes over and he serviced it, and he took care of it. But I had a check. I could write him a check. I could write him a check. That's because I don't eat all my nuts. I'm like a squirrel. All of us are better than squirrels, and just nature of squirrels don't eat all their nuts. They eat some nuts for survival, but they always put some nuts away for when the winter comes and it's cold out there and they can't find nuts because the snow done covered everything. Plus the grizzly bears looking for them as food.
I got 3 hawks. I got 3 hawks that love squirrels.
That's right. Hawks that love squirrels. So even them, they like, hey man, we ain't gonna be out here during this winter. We're gonna be hiding, but we're gonna have enough food because we saved our money, i.e., saved our nuts, so we didn't have to come out there and deal with that riffraff in the world. So surely we as humans, as mankind, we're supposed to be thinkers. Thinkers rule the world. So James, when I read in the scriptures that from Jesus, it said, don't worry, there will always be the poor among you. I was okay then. So there's some people, there's 3 types of people that always, as a matter of fact, me and Heisey was talking about this on transition. On Wednesday, we had this show called Transitions. And we were talking about the subject this past Wednesday, and go back and look at it if you guys get a chance. It was like there's 3 types of people. The people that came to the planet that can see. People just already know. You just know not to touch the fire. You know it's hot. You ain't got to see nobody. You just know. I don't know, from past life or whatever. You just see. The second type of person is those who see when they're told. You didn't know something, but somebody hipped you to it, and you go, oh, I see how it works. Oh, that's why they give the credit card to you for free, even though you didn't ask for it. And they start you off with a $10,000 line of credit. And you ain't even asked for it. It just showed up in your mailbox. How they know? Oh, they got a system where they can check everybody that got decent credit card or even bad credit. They know how to check, and you know you want some more because you're so bad. So that's how they know. Those are the people. Second type of person is those that see when they're told, and you go, no, listen, it looks good, but everything that looks good ain't good.
Don't touch it.
So don't touch that. But then the third type of people, those that just don't see, you could talk to them until you blue in their face. You can show them. You can demonstrate. You can say, listen, don't go in that water because there's alligators. They still going in that water. Okay. You don't understand. Well, you have to rest assured it ain't your time. It's them. It's their life. It's their journey. They have to go in the alligator and get their arm bit off. Then some of them go back in, the next time after the arm is here. And we all know those kind of people. We actually all know the 3 type of people. All of us that's listening, watching, we are automatically in one of those 3 categories. people who just see. The second one, people who see when they're told. And that third one, man, they don't see. They see Johnny was on crack, now they on crack.
Rob, but my prayer is, maybe that should be our prayer today, that someone will love someone other than themselves, that they would want to do more, be more, give more, share more, learn more, so they can teach more, and don't become just and when folks, when you hear Rob talk about Jesus, know that we're not trying to be religious. It has nothing to do with religion.
No, that's why I say the story.
Yeah,
it could be
right,
Buddha,
right,
it could be Allah,
right. Because if it deals with truth, if it deals with principles and laws, and not the one that man make rules or take rules and call them laws, but those laws that judge us by what we do, what we say, how we act, and what we're told. But I really do want to believe that there's someone out there that you care for, or care for. Maybe I won't say even more than you care for yourself, but at least as much as you care for yourself, and you would love to see them do well. And so when, as Mr. Henderson said, the Henderson Financial Group can help you to gain more and not to take away with what, hey, you're not going to have to do peanut butter and jelly sandwiches just to see somebody else get 600,000. No, you may not know all that you have, that you have access to. And one of those things, Rob, that you should talk about too, was how many people know how much money they have in their 401k.
Right.
They've been working for 20, 30 years.
Right.
And they just know, oh, I got money in my retirement. But did you know that you could perhaps use those monies and earn more money than you're going to earn by keeping it in your 401k?
No, most people are not enlightened to that. But then that's why you're supposed to seek, ask, and knock. That's why you're supposed to seek good help. I mean, James, I don't know anything about. I was talking about my air conditioner. I don't know how to fix an air conditioner. If I go outside and my car won't start, I don't know nothing about it. I can call myself raising the hood up, but when I raise the hood up, it look like an airplane or something. I barely know where to put oil. I have to find that out, especially the newer cars, and the old cars, I don't know anything. So I'm ignorant to that. So I have to pay someone. Anytime you're ignorant to something, you got to get good help and you have to pay someone. But no, you ignorant. Most people are ignorant to stuff and they don't get nobody. They don't get no help. They just don't. Now we talked about the show to talk today is creating generational wealth. And I only know from my 65 years on the planet, and trust me, all these get rich quick schemes, my mother said I was the laziest person she knew. She wasn't lying.
Then
I was, huh?
That was then, Rob.
Yeah, that was then. I figured it out. But when I grew up, I didn't want to take out the garbage. I didn't want to clean my room up. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to clean up. I didn't want to do no labor. My mom used to come by the bedroom on a Saturday morning, waking me up with the lawnmower. She was out there cutting the yard. I was just that lazy. I said, I gotta go to baseball practice. I always found something to do. I gotta go to basketball practice, gotta go to football practice, gotta go karate practice, gotta go study. And she knew I was doing it to get out of chores. So I knew that I had to read and study. I just did. So you gotta know what you have to do. I mean, you have to look at yourself and say, this is what I like to do. Let me tell you something. We're talking about generational wealth. There's 3 ways that I know of how to build generational wealth. 1 is real estate holdings. 2 is having a fat life insurance policy. Not even 1, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 life insurance policy, cash value. I ain't talking about this term insurance. The 3rd one is you got to have a business, some sort of business that's going to have what they call continuity of life. That means that if you got a business and even though you pass, that business is still going to be operating and still going to be kicking out cash flow and still be able to service your family members and their family members in that generation if you got a good business. So if you don't want to do business and you don't want to have no real estate, you don't want to deal with tenants or deal with real estate, then the easiest way is having a life insurance policy. That's it. That's it. Having a life insurance policy, you can pass down. And when you have a life insurance policy, you can eat all your money now. You can do what you want to, because you know when you die, you leaving a big fat policy for them. So a lot of people say they don't want to spend their money because they want to and live their lifestyle because they want to leave something for little Susie, little Ronnie. No, just get a life insurance policy, and it'll take care of them. But you have to seek, ask, and know. You can always call the Henderson Financial Group, and we'll break it down to you like a 6-year-old and look at your private case. With fiduciaries means that we like lawyers, doctors, everything is private, okay? Can't tell your cousin, your friends, or whoever referred you. And we'll go over. But what do you want to do? What goals do you have? And James, most people just want for themselves. They just want to be able to retire and spend their money and have a life of leisure, and that's it. They're not really thinking about the grandkids or their kids, and they're not really thinking about that. But if you are, you have to have a plan, and there's a plan that you can actually have. And like I said, it doesn't cost a lot. I remember, James,
But Rob, wouldn't that plan also help them, even if they weren't going to leave anything or wasn't planning to leave anything to someone else? It is still a way of them, as you said, protecting themselves, because they can use from the policy after a period of time.
Listen. I bought my first duplex. I bought it for $70,000. I was 21 years old. I'm 65 now. I was 21 years old. I bought it for $70,000. I was so frugal that I was scared. The monthly payment was $600. I remember the mortgage. I was so scared to have that responsibility of having a duplex and me having to pay the $600. What happened if I didn't have it? They'll take the duplex. So I said, okay, I'm gonna rent one side out for $500. And surely now I got less of a nut to crack. I only have to come up with $100. Man, I can go figure it out to get $100. I can hustle to get $100 a month. You know what I mean? And it was $600 and it was paid for. Now I'm saying that in terms of planting the seed. Here it is. Years later, 65, we still have that duplex. The duplex I paid $70,000 for, it's worth about $480,000. Can you believe that?
Yes, sir.
I didn't save that money. And guess what? Every year, income, cash flow. I think East Side right now rents. East Side right now rents for $1,700 a month. That's $3,400 a month. East Side is, can you believe it? I mean,
Yes.
that's generational wealth. Now that's going to my children. That's going to my children. You see, it's in a trust. That's going to my children. And that's going to continue because people are going to need housing. That's just one property. And guess what? Back doing that, I didn't have a lot of money, but I understood the squirrel concept. Don't eat all your nuts. Here's a man that makes $100,000 a year. He said if he was making $150,000 a year, he said, Robert, I could do what you're saying. But right now, there's no room. He makes $100,000 a year. His lifestyle is $100,000 a year. The universe heard him. The universe heard him. The gods, whatever you want, they heard him. They heard him. His genie heard him. His subconscious mind heard him. He said, hey, I need $150,000. Guess what? He got an offer to make not 100, but 150,000. I said, okay, man, we get ready to save some money. He said, no, Rob.
No.
He said, no, Rob, I'm going to buy a bigger house. Matter of fact, I'm going to buy a better car. I'm going to buy some more jewelry. And matter of fact, I'm going to eat out more and I'm going to hire me a chef. And guess what he lives off now? 150,000. They could have said he's going to start making 200,000. And guess what his mind said? He getting ready to move on up like the Jeffersons. Yes, and listen, let me tell you something. What I'm saying to you all, the business people of the world, the system that we live in, know exactly how you think, know exactly what you're going to do. That's why Madison Avenue advertisers just bombard you where you can't even If you think you thinking, no, they thinking for you. Let me tell you, you could be sitting home today. If Red Lobster said they're having a shrimp feast, whatever, man, they already know how many millions of people are going to get up and go into Red Lobster today just because that commercial. They got it down like a science. You can say, no, not me, not me. Trust me. You, we, us have our minds, our thoughts have been hijacked right before our eyes. Genius is when you can make people do something, what you want them to do, and they think it was their idea. That's genius. If you could create a situation where you can make people do exactly how you want them to do, and you know where to be found, they can't even blame you. That's genius.
That's genius. Well,
That's
my
genius.
thing is, my question to anybody that listens to this today, tomorrow, or any day in the future, I got a question. What do you want? Because if you determine what
It's
you
pretty
want,
hard.
if you determine what you want, you need to have a plan. And if you think that you're the only one with the plan, and if you think there's nobody to help you, then just boom, go ahead, do it your way. But if you think there may be a better way, and all of us, hey, Rob, if we haven't learned nothing else in life, we know that there's always a better way, always. And
Always a better way.
and we all can use a coach. So what the Henderson Financial Group does is they say, all right, this is what you want. Okay, let's take a look at where you are. And let's tell you what you say, Rob, how you can get your cake and eat it too. Yeah. And they'll show you. They'll help you. And if that would encourage you to make a change, because just doing the same thing over and over again and being the same way, like the guy who said, I'm going to sit here by the river and I'm just going to wait this one out because I believe in reincarnation. And when I come back, I'm going to try something different. No, try something different today. You know,
Yeah.
hey, if it's nothing but a thought, yeah, come on, man. I know we all want something, and we all, even if we want, if we want a better life, if we want to live in a better world, if we want to, hey, live in a better place, you know, and some of us do want to help others, and that's what the Henderson Financial Group does. I enjoy the fact that our goal can be, how can we help you to get whatever it is that you want? And if it's not for you, how can we help you to get what you might want for someone else that you love? Whether you love them more, love them less, you just love them. Because some people, you just have to love them from afar. But hey, if you love them and say, hey, I got a grandson, I've got a son, or a daughter, or whatever, and we all fall short. So don't hold against them what they may or may not do. Just say, hey, what can I do? What can I do for my kids?
Yes.
What can I do for my community? what can I do for this organization or that organization? How can I afford to help other people? Can I afford to do that? And the Henderson Financial Group would say, okay, let's take a look at, hey, maybe you need to set up a budget to find out that, yes, you can, even though you're only making 40,000, 50,000, whatever it is, hey, you can save 10%. And here's what that 10% can do for you over a period of time. And you don't have to change your lifestyle.
Yes. And but see, I gotta admit, the reason why it's so hard for a lot of people is because most of us don't know that our mental state has been attacked, and it's always every day it's under attack. It really is. I mean, when they do those commercials, when they do the social media, I mean, the Facebook, look at my food, look at me, I'm in Dubai. I mean, Dubai is like a place that every black person, not say every black people, but that's a trend that's going on. You got to go to Dubai. And people ask me, Robert, have you been to Dubai? And I said, I know that's a trend, that word is going around, man, you got to go to Dubai. Now, I love to travel, but I have no interest in going to Dubai. Now, listen, let me clear that up for you all. And I'm not knocking Dubai, but for me, I like to go to historical places, but I'm not really interested in going to seeing something that's very, very expensive buildings, tall buildings, expensive cars, and that's it. I mean, that that's empty to me. It doesn't. I mean, just for me to see that's like me. Everybody said, "Let's go see Emerald City." Wizard of Oz. I mean, that doesn't move me. It doesn't do anything for me. And I'm not going just because everybody said, "Let's go." Since I like to travel, and I went to Alaska cruise because people will come to my office and I got James, this my whole side of my wall, big old map of the world. And people were saying, Rob, man, you travel all over the world. You done been to South America. You done been all over, Rob. You never had an Alaskan cruise. You never went on an Alaskan cruise. So back in 2019, I got my mom, my family, my Natalie's family, probably about 25 or 30 of us went. I said, come on, y'all, let's go to this. I'm sick and tired of people just telling me about this Alaskan cruise. So we book and we go to Alaska. And I seen a lot. I'm on the boat and I seen the ice and rock and you get off and all that. You come back. And people go, oh my God, because before I went, people really sensationalized it like we were kids. Like, oh my God. It's really sensationalized it. And those who know me, y'all know Robert, keep it real with Robert. I'm not going to fool myself. I know Batman and Robin is fiction. So I'm not getting ready to say I'm Batman. I do know that. I do know Christmas is not, there's really no Santa Claus in the sky. I really know that. As a matter of fact, all 5 of my kids will tell you when they were very, very little, and they were telling me, Daddy, this is what they want from Santa Claus. I said, listen here. I'm Santa Claus.
I am.
I'm Santa Claus. And they said, well, why would you tell your child that? I said, you think I'm going to let a fat white man take credit for me? What I'm working hard to do? I bought that bicycle. Ain't no Santa Claus. Do you really think I'm going to let a fat white man? We ain't even got a chimney talking about waiting for Santa Claus. I am. Same with the Tooth Fairy. I am the Tooth Fairy. Okay? I'm not getting ready to illusion. My point here, some of y'all say, why would you say that? Because it's an illusion. It's an illusion. And right now, 95% of people live in an illusion, in a make-believe. The whole Disney is an illusion. Okay? It's an illusion. I'm not saying something wrong with it, but you can't fool yourself. Which pill are you taking? The red pill or the blue pill? This is the matrix. Do you want to know the truth or you want to just go with everybody else? I will never, ever go back to Alaskan cruise. It was boring with a capital B. So don't ask me, Robert, you got no. I was not thrilled. I was on that boat. It was cold outside and there was a big melting ice supply. I ain't going back. So if somebody telling you out there, oh my God, you missing out on life, go to Alaskan cruise. Don't believe it. It's hocus pocus, okay? Don't join the masses. But let me tell you something. My point is, what I'm trying to say is how our minds have been manipulated. Fear of missing out. It just makes it so uncomfortable. It's so much. And it's not only children, adults, 60, 70 years old, still mind has just been just taken over. And you think it has. You think it's you. No, you've been influenced by the system.
Well, Rob, you get a grip. You didn't say get a grip, did you, Rob?
Get a grip. The hardest thing for mankind to do is independently think. They got so many people putting so much money in the 401k. Oh my God, the system. You think that's in the end, that's going to be the best for you? They're going to tax you. They tax you until the rest of your life. Any tax deduction you get right now, when you retire, they get it all back.
Okay,
You're gonna
Rob.
pay for it.
All right, Rob. Yeah. Hey, you just touched on something that I got a question for. I think a couple weeks ago. Some people, what do they call these different programs? The drop program. What's the difference between a drop program and those 401ks and all of that? Are they able to also use those monies or take those monies out when it's matching funds in a drop program? Somebody asked me that, and I said I'll ask Robert.
No. The drop program is when you give up your pension to the state, because you said they're gonna pay you when you retire. So you give up your lump sum money. They may have $1 million in there, but you ain't getting that because you told them, Big Mama, keep this state, keep this. Just pay me monthly, okay? And then they'll give on the investment side, they give you, whether you go 5 years or 3 years, they'll give you a certain amount of money. You may come up with $200,000-$300,000. You can take that drop money, but then you're getting a pension also. The big money they keep, they give you a little bit of money so you can go ahead and spend it and buy cars or whatever you're gonna buy. And then the big money they keep and say, we're gonna spoon feed you and pay you every month so you don't have to work. We're gonna make sure that we pay you, for the rest of your life. When you die, if you died 3 years later, we keep all the money. We can give it, especially if you're single. So most people don't understand that concept either. You should always, before you make the decision to go into drop or not, you should always seek counsel. Seeking counsel.
Yes.
That's the key, right?
Right.
Seek
Rob,
counsel.
wait. Yeah. Now, okay, but for those people who, and I had that conversation with the same person that asked me about that, and they said, well, no, I wasn't in a 401k. I went in the drop program, and I said, well, I don't know what a drop program is, but with the 401k that many people have and have never, I don't know if people even knew that they could ask how much was in it. Do you think people know that they could find out how much money?
Most people just, whatever they tell them, whatever they get in the mail, whatever they just follow a coworker who ain't rich. It's amazing. So many people follow other people and get, no advisor can compete with a friend or a relative, because so many people who ain't done nothing, who are not rich, give a lot of advice, and a lot of people listen to them. I'm basically bald headed. Got a few. My barber keep telling me that I still got some time, but my kids tell me, because he wants to keep getting paid.
Your kids tell you to get a grip.
My kids give me get a grip.
Go ahead.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. Hey, but next week, Rob, we might have to deal with to get a better idea of the difference between the drop program, the 401k, and things that people need to know. Maybe that could be a good topic. Things that working people need to know. So this week, hey, let's look at that, because I think a lot of people don't know all that they have and all that they can do with what they have. That
most people don't.
That would take them to another level.
Most people don't have a clue what they could do. I was just saying, if here I am with practically bald, I'm just hanging on there. If I start telling y'all how to grow hair, if I got on this mic and said, let me tell you how to grow a lot of hair, you should listen to me. It's called the law of demonstration. Paul Lewis mentioned it. The best teacher is one who sets a great example. Listen, if I start telling y'all, let me show y'all, I want y'all to pay me. Okay, I'm gonna tell you how to grow a lot of hair, and I ain't got no hair. Run. If the guy 500 pounds, he tells you he's an instructor for weight loss. Run. The law of demonstration. Why are so many people listening to people who ain't got nothing, who ain't did nothing? You got it. It's right in front of you. What have you got? Come on. You can't give people advice if you not setting an example. And they shouldn't take no advice just because you my cousin, my brother, or whatever. Listen, my mother, God bless her, dead. She died on August 27th. Love my mother. Mother was the best friend. When I think I was 22 or 23 years old, and I worked 5 years for CBS Channel 4. Good job. Benefits. The job was so good until out of 8 hours, I only had to work like 4 hours, and they paid us, $500 a week. You know what I mean? It was like easy. It's like we sat in the studio, and a lot of people said it's a good job. To me, it wasn't a good job because it was a good job for a while. Then I got bored, and I said, "Hey, Rob, look in the mirror. What are you really doing? You're sitting right here collecting a check. You ain't learning nothing. You could do this work with your eyes closed. What are you doing to enhance your personal growth. You're sitting here taking these people money. There's so many people right now, James, they say they got a good job. You know what they followed it up by saying? I don't do nothing. I go to sleep all day. You are, listen, you ain't hurting them. You hurting yourself, because time is the greatest thing that each and every one of us have. You're supposed to be doing something with that time. If you're sitting around there sleeping like a hibernated bear and they paying you, you hurting yourself. In the long run, you hurting yourself. You're supposed to be getting and learning and growing and expanding. So I left CBS Channel 4. I did that. My mom said, boy, you got to be out of your mind. Is you on drugs? Why would you leave this job? They're giving you all these benefits. And what I'm going to tell my friends, I'm saying that my mother loved me, but that's what she knew. I said, no, Mom, I got to be all I could be. And being here ain't all I could be. I already know every year I'm going to get a 3% raise. I could calculate that for the next 20 years. If I'm making $500 a week, I can do the math. That don't excite me. I want to go where I haven't been. I don't want to go where, okay, no. And I left. And that's how I started building wealth. You got to have the courage to get off the plantation. You got to. But all of us, some of us people, listen, back in the 1800s, when they said slavery was over, there's a lot of people cried. A lot of people, they want to go. A lot of people, they want to go. They're like, what we going to do out here? We can't. Come on. What we going to do?
Where are we going to go?
Where we going to go?
We don't have any land.
And
we don't even know who we are.
That's right. And that's still today, right now. That's still the mentality of most
Rob,
people.
you got a meeting and to go to.
Oh yeah, I got to be at the
get out of here.
But 11 o'clock. It's called State of the Black. It's black. The state of Black Miami.
Okay, all right.
And I'm gonna be on a panel at Georgia Caleb Center at 11 a.m. today. I got to get out of here.
Okay, yeah. And what we'll do is we'll talk about. But I think that, let's do that. You're gonna talk about generational wealth, but next week let's talk about lessons for the working class or whatever it is, because I really know that there are people out there that are working and they're working for that one goal of retirement, but they have so much that they don't know that they have. Okay. So yes. And you got to go on a Disney cruise. Disney cruise.
I never been on that one. I never been on that one.
Right. And you got to bring your grandkids, or whatever. Hey, that's what you. Yeah. Oh, Rob. Hey.
James T, if you tell them I got to go and experience that, I'm going.
Trust
me. Look at Tara said they went on. I guess they went on the Alaskan cruise in 2011. Had a great time. Listen, I had a great time when I went, but I ain't going back.
One time, Tara, that's not what he said before. That's what he said before. So we out. Hey, we're gonna close out today. My brother sends out a message. Oh, no, okay. Anything you want to say?
No, in prayer. I'm saying we close out.
Prayer, brother. My brother, his name is John. He says, join me in praying that the Lord will help us to wait when it's time to wait. Okay, and to act and to take action when it's time to take action. And through it all, hear his voice and trust his promises. Rob, that's what we were talking about today. Wait when you're supposed to wait, because there's hope in waiting. Most people would say on the Lord, but I say that there's hope in waiting in the Lord, meaning waiting in his laws and his principles. That book, people trying to fool you about that book if you think that's a religious book. That is a law book called the Bible. And there are laws and principles in there that will send you to a kingdom living that you could not have dreamed of. So I pray that God will bless all of us today, Mr. Henderson, keep you safe, and that you'll give a message and touch some of those people that are in the audience that are going to pass on the message that they learned so that others will be blessed. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Hey. Hey, y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Hey, enjoy your weekend and be safe. Much love to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.
Amen.
All right, James, I got to get out of here, right?
Okay, man. Much love. Much love.